I the asshole for not allowing my depressed son to have bottled water? My son, 16, was diagnosed with depression 2 years ago and has since been going to therapy twice a week, and he was put on medication. I do share 50-50 split custody with his dad. A system his dad set up was buying 8 2-liter bottles a week for him to have in his room so he doesn't have to leave his room to drink. He will drink more than 2 liters a day, and his dad occasionally gets him energy drinks and such. We have been doing this in my house, but bottled water is expensive. I have 5 other kids with my husband. It's an unnecessary expense we could do without. Plus, plastic in the ocean. So, instead, I got him a large water bottle and told him to fill it up as needed from the tap. This led to the slightly sticky situation of my son filling it and trying to make it last him all week so he didn't have to refill. He was pretty lethargic all week, but that's not out of the ordinary. I assumed he was coming down and filling it up at night / while we were out, as he doesn't like his siblings all that much. 4-year-old, 3-year-old, and 18-month triplets. Monday, he goes to his dad's and tells him the new system. My ex called me angry, called me an abusive mother. I explained cost. He said I should, quote unquote, stop breeding and prioritize our son over the younger ones who don't have mental health issues. I apologized, but told him the plastic waste is unacceptable. If our son needs me to, I can fill the bottle. My ex is still incredibly angry, stating that his health should come first. I think he's being unreasonable, but I do understand his fear and anger to an extent with the things we go through regarding our son. My son has stated he'll stay with his dad, skip my week, and he'll be back week after next. I think he's trying to guilt me. He was like it as a toddler. If one of us was upset with him, he'd beg to stay with the other to make us feel bad and give in. So I understand energy, but it's not really an excuse. Like I said, I'm more than willing to help him if need be. So, am I the asshole for not allowing my depressed son to have bottled water? And the top comment coming in with 17,000 upvotes. You're the asshole. This isn't about the bottled water situation. If your depressed son isn't leaving his room for an entire week and you aren't interacting with him enough to realize this or realize he's not drinking because of this, then you are doing something very, very wrong. Next comment, 7,000 upvotes. Yeah, even for a clinically depressed teenager, spending that much time isolated in his room should be a big red flag that the current treatment / approach isn't working. So removing the one aspect of it that is working, which is providing him with enough water to last him the week, is just not a dick move, but also illogical and unsupportive. I'd also wager a guess that your own living arrangements are inadequate. Hell, I'd be pretty irritable and reclusive too if my mom remarried, had 5 children under the age of 5, including 3 infants, and couldn't even be bothered to encourage the one healthy behavior I had managed to pick up just because, quote unquote, whoa, but plastic waste is bad. Like, how much waste do you think your 5 toddlers contribute to the world? Are you refusing to use diapers or buy toys wrapped in plastic? Do you refuse to order from companies like Amazon who ship 2 tiny products in a giant box stuffed with plastic and styrofoam? Do you religiously cut up all of those plastic rings so that they don't choke out turtles and dolphins? Or are disposable water bottles the sole thing you've decided to cut out of your life because that's the easiest and least troublesome way for you to be, quote unquote, eco-friendly? Your son desperately needs your support, and your ex is 100% right about you not prioritizing his needs. I get that taking care of 2 toddlers and 3 infants is far from easy, but if that means you can't handle also being there for your teenage son, even in the smallest way, by providing him with a consistent and convenient method of hydration that works for him, then frankly, you ought to relinquish custody to him at all, because your ex is obviously at least trying, and you clearly are not. My vote, this mom's the asshole. Let me know what you guys think. Am I the asshole for not being there for my wife when she had a miscarriage? By the title, it might sound bad, but hear me out. A few months ago, my wife, 29 female, and I, 31 male, found out we were pregnant. Around a month later, we found out my mother was terribly ill and in the hospital in Morocco. We decided to take the airplane to Morocco while the borders were still open. 5 hours before the flight, my wife found out she had a miscarriage. She was rushed to the hospital, but I was now stuck between staying with her and visiting my terribly sick mother. My wife begged me to stay, but I could not since the plane tickets were expensive and there was no guarantee my mother would be alive when she felt better. When I told her, she started sobbing and refused to talk to me. I felt bad the entire flight. When I arrived and got picked up by my sister, she asked me where my wife was, and I told her the truth, which she started yelling at me, telling me that I'm an a-hole and she's a fool for being with someone like me. My brothers think I did the right thing. I've received millions of angry messages from my in-laws. My mother died 2 days after I arrived. A day after the funeral, I went back home. My wife refuses to talk to me, even though I've tried to apologize and explained that I just lost my mother. So, am I the asshole for not being there when my wife had her miscarriage? Top comment, 42,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. This is the situation you can't win. Your wife is rightfully angry you weren't there, and the pain of losing the baby has put blinkers on her for the time being. She won't be able to see anything but her own loss at the moment. On the flip side, I couldn't see my dad before he died, borders, and let me tell you, that's not something you get over. I expect your family wouldn't have let you hear the end of it if you had missed those last days with your mom. I am so sorry for your losses, both of them. I hope you can all move forward to a place where you can heal together. Next comment, 20,000 upvotes. Thank you for this comment. There is no way. Just lost her child. She is obviously hurting, and with all the pain and hormones washing through her, it's only natural for her to feel angry and abandoned, even though he didn't have a choice and only left for good reason. She needed his support, but he wasn't there for her. Edit to add, I've seen people say that OP lost his child too. This is obviously true, and I said that later in this comment, but I'm looking through OP's wife's point of view here, so I might have missed that. However, OP is not an asshole for leaving at all. Anyone who says he shouldn't go see his dying mother is an ignorant a-hole. If he hadn't left, he would have never last moments or ever again, and that is something someone regret for the rest of their lives. Yet His grieving wife yelled at him, but would his family let him off easy if he hadn't spent time with his mother? It is a difficult situation all around. Both OP and his wife should go to therapy to deal with their losses. There's way too much pain to handle at the moment. She just got abandoned during an incredibly difficult time, and he had to choose between two people he loves besides the loss of his own. Hopefully they can heal together and move on stronger. There are no assholes here, OP. I am sorry for your losses. Next comment, 7,000 upvotes. I agree, and I feel like some people are overlooking the fact that he lost two people and keep saying he should have been there for her. Question is, who's there for him? He lost the woman who had been in his life since he was born, presumably, and his child, but apparently he should be the strong one. He should have been there for her. He should. What about her? And my vote, I'm going to go ahead and say that there are no assholes here. It sucks. The whole situation just sucks. But if my mother was dying and knowing that I had a good relationship with her throughout the years, I would go see her and I would do my best to not feel bad about it. What do you think?